We're using this today because I have the air on and our air is loud. But that's like also interesting because I wasn't even thinking about it when you're an air sign. You get the different setup this month. We have you late at night. I cannot sleep. I'm someone who definitely needs their sleep. My cats are playing now because it's that time. Okay, this is your Cancer season reading. July 2024. All information to work with me one-on-one is below. The link tree is below. Everything is there. Calendar is updated. There is a new podcast out. All information for my services are there. And it really does help if you watch this all the way through, or at least let it play if you don't want to listen to it, the whole thing, or if you get enough from it, whatever it is. Like, subscribe, comment, whatever you feel is appreciated at this time, Gemini, and always. But this is your reading. The extended link is the first link below, so make sure you check that out. 5 of Pentacles, Justice, 8 of Pentacles, 10 of Swords, 3 of Pentacles, 10 of Cups, wow, 2 of Wands. We have a lot to talk about, don't we? I also have notes too. You, honestly, to put simply, the first part anyway, the first 3 parts, is we're gonna do our best to keep it super simple for you guys this month. And it's only because I know how much energy is being processed of all the signs right now, physically, well, emotionally and mentally, energetically, spiritually, then affects you physically, right? So there's a balancing out that's happening and that's needing to happen with how you're feeling. So that last month, whatever that mirror was in your life, that divine mirror then guided you, because you will have a balancing. There will be a balancing to this. However, it takes you to take control of wherever you feel out of control in your life. And again, only where you can. Right? I'm not saying go try and control something that you can't control. That's not what I'm saying. I'm telling you to, with the cards, I'm just reading what the cards say. The only way to come out of this, the only way you're going to come out of this is this striking left, left, but this is left, emotional, mental. And the 8 of Pentacles is saying, like, working on yourself, working on what you need to work on, keeping your head down and being focused and disciplined. That's what cardinal signs know best. So this cardinal sign, Libra being that cardinal sign, but it's also the balancing, the justice. You're feeling that it's heavy, and it is heavy. It's very heavy right now. Cancer season is always heavy. Your season was trying not to be, because there's so much information that needed to let out, that most people felt like a very pull slow down throughout the month. It was like in and out, because in order us to really receive, we, first of all, I mean divine timing, but it's whatever you're going through, usually at the same time you receive why. Once you make a decision, a lot of times things start to play out. First though, I will consistently advise this as a tool for people who have to make decisions constantly. If you are someone who is at, in a place in their life, in a job, has a life, and it's okay if you choose to be more solitude, that's not what I'm saying, but if you have to participate in culture, if you have to participate in your life, you have to make decisions at some point, or you default to not do, which is also making a decision. This is more about making the decision to not focus on what you don't have or wherever you're feeling lack. All of that. Something very interesting, which I think you will really understand. Any noise you hear comes from a chair, which I think you will think is very interesting. And I'm glad we kind of have this set up so I can lean back and talk to you. For a long time, you may have felt unsure. You may have felt even at times unaware. And sometimes if those two come together, it can cause greater confusion, a sense of stuckness, or this continuous thing where we talk about on and off, where you just go and go and go until you realize you don't know really where you're going and you need to just be where you are. And that could be what that heavy, stuck feeling feels like, if that's how you're feeling, or if that's what you've been feeling or been shown. Sorry about that. Spatial awareness is not my friend, or not my, just not in my awareness as much lately, or whatever, it doesn't matter. If you, at any moment, this month, this is why this can even be more powerful. At any moment this month, you can shift direction with first your thought and having that intention, visualizing what you would rather be doing. And then eventually, like, you may find yourself building yourself up the courage to do it. This is also about processing some things. And whether you're a Gemini sun, definitely moon, rising, doing things, using your hands, using your body, using your ability to make art out of different things, your own visual art, expressing yourself for you in any way, shape, or form is really going to help you get to the other side. That's what's going to level this out, because anytime there's a moment where you may feel like, I could catch a break, things feel unfair. They could be, for sure. In the moment, though, I like to kind of flip it, especially if you've had to do this before, if you've run into like many moments like this. How can you see it as fair? And it's not that it accept, it's not that you are ignoring the fact that whatever situation this is, it doesn't feel balanced. You still realize that what you can do is bring your attention to what needs your discipline, what needs your focus at this time. There's something else I was saying, but I'm sure it will come back to me. This expression, which is really important for you, is really important for the next set of plans, the next phase of your life, I should say. This season can shift a lot. That's the density, that's the heaviness. The full moon coming up is in a master sign. Father and mother. A lot of times, if we can't receive justice from someone else, we have to take matters into our own hands and admit to ourselves that we can give ourselves, eventually deep down, even if you work like one-on-one with someone, eventually, we're gonna hop, skip, and jump, but getting there on your own is also the whole point, and that's how you discover and make the paths and carve and the river flows. But a lot of times it's to have the opposite experience of what we've had. So how in this moment can you give yourself some fairness? Will you carve out some time for yourself? You put your head down and focus on what's important to you. you put that energy back into yourself, especially if you have found that this heaviness only brought more of what's real to you. And sometimes what's real feels like it can be only real to us. Even though you know it's not. I just did my night skin routine, so retinol. It's influencing the way your mind changes, where you're going next, the way you move through this time, the way you decide to express, speak about it, listen. Listening to the feeling that you get, seeing maybe even a vision, maybe even a clear vision. So many cards. So many cards. Okay. This would also be about you acknowledging and having this moment with yourself, or with some news that you receive, that it's to your detriment if you don't go there now. And there's so much that you can almost speak into existence. But what I think you find through this is that this part, at this time in your life, it's about being disciplined to what truly fulfills you. When you listen to others, when you hear yourself speak, what are the things that you hear the most? And I'm not saying just the negative or the critical. I'm saying start listening to what it is that you feel like you need. Sometimes what is really blaringly obvious about someone else's character, whether it makes you happy, excites you, triggers you, pushes you away, or pulls you in closer, you're seeing how much this has influenced your life. You're seeing how much your emotions have influenced your money and your well-being. Being disciplined to this. This is not just wealth, it's longevity. It may not look like that yet, but you have this journey to go on with your mind, your emotions, what you're grateful for, what you already have, and what you have yet to put into play. If you're a creative person or not, artist or not, you're reconnecting with the part of you that knows that there's magic. This month is the most magic, the density. That's what I was trying to get to before. Full circle moment. This is a time where most people are being pushed. Most everyone I know in my life, without getting too personal in a very general way, is going through a change, like a very deep change. Whether they think it's deep or not, there's something shifting. Have you ever considered, Gemini, that you're sensitive to when the airwaves shift, when on a collective level they're shifting, because you reach you're the medium, right? So if you begin to pull back sometimes and you start to actually listen to that and retreat inward, you get insights into the future. You get glimpses, visions into the future, perhaps, maybe. Or even feelings, notions, certain signs that come up, then you can connect back to, and coming back to presence with yourself. It's giving yourself time. It's giving yourself energy. Well, how do you do that? Well, you have to listen to yourself. You have to have this conversation with yourself. And this is something I'll consistently emphasize, is that listening and talking to your body and knowing how it feels and not ignoring it is one of the deepest forms of care, because just in our society it says, like, you know, ignore it, pop a pill, drink, whatever it is, whatever your thing is. And I don't say ignore your health, go get the care that you need, whatever that looks like. I am not a professional doctor. I am not a doctor, nor will I ever be. It's just me reading, honestly. The more care you have for and discipline for that part of yourself, you'll realize that you're even more careful about what you're vulnerable, what you're grateful. Yet at the same time, you're still free, you're still you. This just adds and drives the potential forward, the future potential, the purpose, the underlying drive when you feel stuck, when it doesn't feel good enough, when you're in your head too much, when you need to get stuff out of you. You're meant to get stuff out of you. You're meant to go in and out and in and out. It's just, that's you. You know, I talk to that about with Aquarius every year, and I'm like, this might be a little more introverted, you might be, because there's are periods of time where they kind of needs a heads up. Right now, you kind of came into Cancer season, and if you don't feel like your head's at a full stop yet, your body is, you know. Recalibration, mothering yourself. There could have been, you know, the disciplinary in your life too didn't love you, yes, but didn't know really maybe how to appreciate the vulnerability, the sensitivities that you had at the time. It just wasn't available. And with that, you also get this time to reestablish, you know, new contracts, if possible. Mercury retrograde is happening. It's not that you can't sign contracts. I just would, it will happen next month. So, this is towards the end of the month. So, just be wary. Make sure you just always overread them. But I think I don't always think of contracts as like sign the dotted line necessarily externally. This is more about the internal contract. Maybe somewhere along the lines you didn't think this was in the back of your mind, but that's like you've just been priming your subconscious. You've just been priming and priming until it became conscious, and here it is, this opportunity to reconnect with nurturing yourself in a way that you used to, you never thought of, that comes from the stuck place. Because here's the thing, when you get stuck or you slow down, there will be times to speed up again. Just like when you're low, there will be a high. It's this constant motion, especially for you, and even for those of us mutable signs, those of you mutable signs, there's still times where you feel like there should be adjustment periods, and this is this for you. It's guiding you through what gets your focus first, and that is maybe your money, your resources, your value, your energy, and you realize how mentally taxing that had become, so it needs to something needs to come out of you. And it's this ability to connect your mind and your emotions to what you see forward. And then how to get there is through many events. But this is also you being vulnerable with yourself and having maybe moments of such pure gratitude, because maybe that's a discipline. It's like you get a space and time to be this, to see yourself as this, and to carry that forward into your life, into your work if you do so. Either way, it's affecting you. Either way, you have that power. Either way, at the end of the month, Gemini risings, Cancer's in your second house, reestablishing your resources, income flowing in a different way. Maybe you need some help, and you need to allow for that help. Maybe there's a reestablishing in the roles that are played at home. This looks more like home. But what that will also translate in with your job, your career, if you have a side thing, if you're creating something, what that will translate into the future will come, but it's okay to, bring some stuff up that needs to be brought up. There also could be this Cancer in your life who shows you, or the cardinal direction here, showing you or guiding you to not be afraid of seeing what you have, knowing the value of it, and whether it's your purpose or not, it doesn't have to stay that. Hard decisions always have to be made at times of change. Will you keep going? What are you committing to? What does that entail? And can you be with it? Right? What if committing to this process of yourself, of nourishing yourself? There's only one sword, there's 2 sword cards out here. And they mean something. Of course they all mean something. Yeah. How does this guide you forward? We'll get into that into the next part. Why it's so important right now. And if you're asking, like, why are you telling me to see differently in emotion and money, but then you're telling me to go towards fulfillment? Fulfillment is not really a goal. It's not somewhere you stay. It is somewhere you can stay. A goal is somewhere you go to, and then it's not a goal anymore. Fulfillment is about living your life and maneuvering and being able to have some strong, stern parts of you hold up what's to be carved out next, the next adventure. The next you is asking you if you are willing to go forward. How can you then allow yourself to be shaped by Cancer season? And how you will know that is how you respond to the season. Will you stay stuck, or will you take a look at that and say, well, I'm capable. I may be going through stuff, but how can I work with this? What is it about now that it's coming up, and why is it important, instead of just saying, oh, whatever, or, oh, not that again. Get curious. That's what you are. And if you're not, well, you could be mad. Maybe you weren't planning for this, but some shifts are happening, but it requires your deep fulfillment to the journey of the rest of the month. And I'm excited. Nighttime, this was nice, relaxing, but also, lots to chat about. I'm hoping to keep these readings a little shorter, but it didn't work out this time. Cancer season's chatty. We'll see you in the next part in the first link below. All information is there. I also do personal links in the first link below, or in the links below. I don't love short videos, but I'm gonna do my best to put out some shortened versions of the videos and can get these a little more concise. I was hoping that so many carbs would fall out, not that I need to over explain, but it's just nice being here. We'll get you in the second part. first link below on Patreon. Check it out there. Reading information below, my link tree. And new podcast, multi-dimensional healing, all Cancer season things through the body parts, and getting into discussions that have to correlate with the metaphysics of the body parts and how that is connected to my personal life, and maybe that can be connected to yours, but we also explore the different things that I've explored and what comes up at that time during the season. I'll probably put out another one soon too, just as a catch up, because a lot has transpired in 2 weeks. Okay. See you next month, Cancer. Oh, Gemini. We'll see you next month. This is Cancer season. We'll see you next month, Gemini, in Leo season.